2 fighter jets, 2 foreign powers, 1 fragile sky over the Horn of Africa. The F-16 Vipers are roaring over Mogadishu. The F-35 Adirs are watching from the shadows. This isn't just military cooperation. This is a silent air war forming between Turkey in Somalia and Israel in Somaliland. And if one radar locks on, the Red Sea could ignite overnight. Welcome back to Semonignamedia Spotlight, your front row seat to the truth, the power moves and the fault lines reshaping the Horn. While the world is distracted by Ukraine, Gaza, and the South China Sea, something far more dangerous is unfolding over the Indian Ocean. Turkey has landed advanced F-16 Block 70 Vipers in Mogadishu, not for ceremony, not for symbolism, but for strategic positioning. At the same time, Israel's F-35 Adir stealth fleet stands behind its historic recognition of Somaliland, opening the door to a new security axis near Berbera. This is no longer about diplomacy. This is about air superiority, deterrence, and dominance. 4th-generation muscle versus 5th-generation stealth. Visible power versus invisible warfare. Ankara versus Tel Aviv, played out in African airspace. And if these two ever meet over the Gulf of Aden, it won't just be a dogfight. It will be a message to the entire region. Let's break it down. The arrival. Vipers in the Somali sun. Now let's talk about how this escalation actually began. In the first week of February 2026, residents of Mogadishu woke up to a sight and a sound they haven't heard in decades. Turkish F-16 Fighting Falcons, including the lethal Block 70 Viper variants, were confirmed landing at Aden Adi International Airport. This isn't a routine training exercise or a ceremonial flyover. This is a permanent shift in the strategic architecture of Africa. Reports confirm that Turkish engineers have spent months working under a construction veil to build hardened aircraft shelters and specialized maintenance hangars. Alongside the jets, Turkey has deployed its first confirmed air component command to Somalia, featuring T-129 attack helicopters and Akinci armed drones, creating a layered air defense and strike capability designed to protect Turkish interests from the ground to the edge of space. The end-user trap. Ankara's legal high-wire act. Turkey is playing a dangerous game with Washington. Every F-16 sold by the U.S. comes with the Golden Sentry monitoring requirement, a strict end-user restriction agreement that mandates these jets be used only for their intended pre-approved purposes. Ankara is officially framing the deployment as a counter-terrorism mission to bolster the Somali federal government against al-Shabaab, hoping to find a legal loophole. However, the construction of permanent facilities 3,500 miles south of Ankara suggests a different story. If the U.S. State Department determines Turkey is violating these agreements to bully regional neighbors, Washington can ground the entire fleet by denying spare parts or blocking Turkey's return to the F-35 program. The real purpose. The Israel-Somaliland shadow war. While the official excuse is counterinsurgency, the true kinetic underpinning is Israel's historic recognition of Somaliland on December 26, 2025. The regional board has been flipped. Israel is now the first UN member state to formally recognize Hargeisa, and they are moving quickly to secure a return to the Red Sea by negotiating access to Berbera International Airport. Turkey views this Israeli presence as a direct threat to its multi-billion-dollar investments, including its planned equatorial spaceport in northern Mogadishu. The F-16s are there to show Somaliland and its new ally, Israel, that the Somali federal government has a big brother with air superiority. It is a loud warning. Do not try to finalize the Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU. and do not think your new Israeli-supplied iron beam lasers will go unchallenged. F-16 versus F-35. A generational clash. If a dogfight were to occur over the Gulf of Aden, we are looking at a battle of generations. The Israeli F-35 Adir is a stealth ghost, a fifth-generation machine that can operate in total silence, appearing on radar only when it chooses to. While the Turkish F-16 Vipers are modernized 4.5-generation fighters with advanced radar, they are still hot and loud on the electromagnetic spectrum compared to the F-35. In a real engagement, the sensors on the Israeli Adir would likely track the Turkish Viper before the Turkish pilot even knew they were being painted. It is a classic David versus Goliath scenario, but in this sky, the Goliath has the stealth advantage. To truly grasp this clash, we have to look beyond the airframes. The F-35 Adir isn't just a plane, it is a flying supercomputer. Through sensor fusion, the Adir integrates its radar, electronic warfare suite, and infrared sensors into a single, seamless picture for the pilot. It doesn't just see a target, it knows what the target is doing before the target itself does. In a beyond visual range, BVR engagement, the F-35 could theoretically launch a Meteor or AMRAAM missile from 60 miles away while remaining invisible. The Turkish F-16 Block 70, despite its upgraded APG-83A ESA radar, would be searching for a target the size of a sparrow, while the Israeli pilot is already watching the F-16's engine heat signature on a high-definition helmet display. However, the Viper has one last card to play: the merge. If the F-16 manages to survive the BVR gauntlet and close the distance to within 5 miles, what pilots call the knife fight, the dynamics change. The F-16 is one of the nimblest jets ever built, capable of pulling 9 G-turns that can snap a pilot's neck. While the F-35 is agile, it was designed as a multi-role strike platform, not a pure dogfighter. In a close-range turning scrap, a skilled Turkish pilot could potentially use the Viper's superior thrust-to-weight ratio to get on the 6 of the Adir. But even here, Israel's Adir has a secret. The pilot doesn't need to point the nose of the plane at the F-16 to kill it. Using the Distributed Aperture System, DAS, the pilot can see through the floor of the cockpit and lock a missile onto the F-16 simply by looking at it. The ultimate difference is the digital backbone. Israel's Adir fleet is uniquely integrated with proprietary Israeli electronic warfare libraries. This means the Adir isn't just fighting with American code. It's fighting with specialized software designed to jam the very radars Turkey is currently deploying. For the Turkish Vipers, this is a fight against a ghost that can also play tricks on your eyes. The verdict: a new front line. By landing F-16s in Mogadishu, Turkey has moved from soft power diplomacy to hard air power deterrence. They are testing the limits of U.S. patience and the strength of the new Israeli-Somaliland ties. With Turkey also building its own independent gateway to space via the Somalia spaceport, these jets aren't just protecting soil. They are protecting a future where Ankara is a global space actor. Is this the start of a new war? Or is it just a very expensive piece of gunboat diplomacy in the sky? One thing is certain: the Horn of Africa just became the most dangerous flight path on Earth. The message is clear and the stakes have never been higher. You've seen the jets, you've read the agreements, and you know the stakes. The F-16s are in the air, the treaties are being tested, and the world is holding its breath. But the real question is, who truly owns the skies over the Horn? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your voice. If you value the truth and want to stay ahead of the game, make sure to hit that follow button, turn on your notifications, and share this fire. Stay bold, stay informed. This is Semonignamedia Spotlight. We're out.